is rich in its diversity, and young people are its greatest treasure. Half the population is less than 25 years old. The Hemisphere's leaders are gathered today in Miami to forge agreements intended to make the entire region more prosperous and more democratic. Democracy and prosperity require healthy, educated children. So today, the Hemisphere's leaders will commit their countries to action that will guarantee quality education for every child and basic health services that will save the lives of millions of children and mothers. This commitment reinforces a promise made at the 1990 World Summit for Children, a promise enshrined in the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and a promise repeated in the 1994 Nariño Accord, when a set of goals to be reached by the middle of the decade were agreed upon. One of those goals has already been achieved, the elimination of polio from this hemisphere. With sustained effort, several other goals will be reached by the end of 1995. Most countries now regularly immunize 80% or more of their children. And measles, one of the worst child killers, is on the run. The elimination of measles from this hemisphere is now a real possibility, thanks to earlier promises that have been kept. The Andean countries are also close to the goal of iodizing salt, thus eliminating the greatest preventable cause of mental retardation. Deaths from diarrhea are plummeting. In Mexico, for example, they have been reduced by half in just 4 years. All over the hemisphere, hospitals are encouraging mothers to breastfeed. Today's promises are genuine because the hemisphere is now reaching the goals it agreed upon. Much has been done, but democracy and prosperity require more. Too many children in the Americas go to sleep hungry, grow up in poverty, lack adequate nutrition, live on the street, homeless, and are victims of violence. Too many still die or are disabled from entirely preventable diseases. Too many still lack access to life-saving health services. Although the Americas have high rates of school enrollment, they still lead the world in school dropouts. Every country needs to invest more in basic education to make schools more challenging, more appealing, and more affordable, to eliminate child labor. And to train young people for employment in a modern economy. The 130 million young people of the Western Hemisphere are its future, but they are confronted with problems. The erosion of family life, child abuse and exploitation, teen pregnancy, children having children, sexually transmitted diseases, illegal and legal drugs, including alcohol and tobacco, and guns and violence. Now the second leading cause of death among children aged 10 to 14 in the United States. Children throughout the hemisphere face remarkably similar problems, and every country has something to teach about how to deal with them. Most countries of the Caribbean, just as those of the Southern Cone, are showing the way to basic education for all, with equal access for girls. The Andean countries can teach a great deal about bilingual education, from Canada to Chile, There are rich experiences to share in childcare and early education. Using the simple remedy of oral rehydration therapy, Peru and Nicaragua have shown how communities can prevent cholera from killing children. Colombia has developed the kangaroo mother method, an effective low-cost way of caring for low birth weight babies. By training 7,000 community health workers, the state of Ceará in Brazil has reduced infant mortality and malnutrition by 1/3 in just 4 years. Other countries have much to learn from Uruguay and El Salvador about child rights legislation. From the Caribbean, about teenage pregnancy. From the United States and Haiti, about the AIDS epidemic. From Ecuador and Costa Rica, about how young people can design programs to protect their rights. As closer links are forged, learning and sharing, government to government, and people to people must intensify. This Summit of the Americas shares a collective commitment, which requires shared solutions. But it also requires a personal commitment by everyone who cares about this hemisphere's children to ensure that the promise to children given today in Miami is fulfilled.